Hi there, it's a Sunday morning. Just thought you might like to keep me company while I try and decide which colours are A, B, C and D with all I'm doing. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing, can you? Oh, now you can see what I'm doing, I think. As I'm not using the right colours, you know, for the Frida Kahlo, which is rather funny because this is what I'm going to be trying to do it from. As you can see, my printer's only printing in blue and green. So that's not much of a help, is it? So I'm going to look at what it says here and try to decide. I did try to get the actual yarn for the, for the poncho, but seemingly it was all out of stock. So whether they're stopping doing the paint box, I don't know. So these are all the colours I've had to get instead. So before I start crocheting, I've got to decide which is A, B, C and D, haven't I? So I thought I'd just let you come along with me and see my journey. This is obviously A. I don't need to write that on because A is black, so black is black, isn't it? Oh, that's the title of a song, isn't it? Black is black. Right, I've got to decide which is bubblegum pink and which is lipstick pink. Yeah, and I've also got a tea rose. Oh gosh, I've got all these colours now. I don't know which I decided. That looks like a tea rose to me. It's very pastel pink. That looks like tea rose. So I'll put that on one side because that's further down. So I've got bubblegum pink, lipstick pink, red rose and tomato red. Well, that's obviously the nearest to tomato red, isn't it? So let me decide which is... oh, sorry for sniffing, that was very rude. Bubblegum pink, lipstick pink. Right. Rose red. That's probably rose red, isn't it? I think we'll decide on that. So that can be B. That's B. That is supposedly bubblegum pink, yeah? This is lipstick pink, yeah, we'll have that as lipstick pink, so that's C. I'm going to get all confused when I start this. When I'm doing multicolours, I do get so confused. This one says crushed berry, so it's going to have to be a rose red, which is a D. And this is going to have to be lipstick, although, oh no, tomato red. Although it's actually more, it just says it's red, yeah. So that's going to be E. Right, so that's that. So let's look at the rest of these colours now. Let's see what we're on to next. Oh, daffodil yellow, that's easy, isn't it? That's easy, easy. I'm using, I should say, Signet Chunky, which I got from Wool Warehouse. Very reasonable. It's about £2.9, I think, for 100 grams. So that's quite good. So this is number F. Oh, my pen's running out. My marker, I should say. That's an F. Right, the next one is soft fudge. I had no idea what colour soft fudge was, so I decided on this, which is more of a mink colour. So that'll be number G. Oh, do it the right way around instead of being upside down, Janet. Yes. Now we have got Seville orange. Well, nice bright orange. That'll be Seville orange. I had a Seville orange for years. They're all Jaffas over here. I don't think I've had a Jaffa. Seville. Kingfisher blue. That's not really a kingfisher blue, but it was the nearest I could find on their colour palette. So hey ho, it will have to do. So this is I. This is I. Then it was grass green, which there wasn't. So I've had to settle with emerald. You know me and my bright shades. I like emerald. So this is number J. I have to do this because when I start doing the pattern, it'll say change from A to B, change from B to C and all that. So I have to write them on the labels, otherwise I am a bit thick here. This is going to be tea rose. It's not really tea rose. Oh my goodness me, message. Yeah, this is going to be Tea Rose, yeah. There we are, number K. So that's my colours, all sorted out. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare kind of thing, sorting them out, because if you could see, you know, there's all those colours. I mean, how are you going to have them in a bag and keep fishing one out at a time? I've not decided whether I'm going to... Oh, hello, I'll say hello to you. Oh my goodness me, the sun's in my eyes. It's not very often I say that, is it? The sun's in my eyes and I'm ready to... whatever. Oh, that's better. Sorry I look a bit grotty, but it's Sunday morning and I've just been doing me washing. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to do all the colours when you have to take them out of the bag one at a time. And you have to find out which is A, B, C and D. So I decided to have this bright idea. I would use a Sharpie and write on the label. So I wouldn't have to keep looking to the front of the pattern to find out what colour A, B, C and D was. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do one square at once. You know, go the whole way through a square. Pretend this is in red. I'm too tight to buy a new lot of printer's ink because it's 40 quid for one set. 40 quid for the black, 40 quid for the colours, so... No, I shall make do with having it done in green. I don't know whether to do one square at once or whether to do the 4 squares simultaneously. It's a big word for a Sunday, isn't it? Simultaneously. Never sure which way you pronounce it. Either way. Yeah. That way I won't have to keep reaching the colours out one by one. I'm wearing purple, by the way. That's why I've got the purple top on. Different coloured beads today. You know me and my purple. I've got 2 purple dresses in case you're thinking I've still got the same on from yesterday. I've got 2 purple dresses, 3 black dresses. Well, I've got more than 3 actually. I've got 3 of the plain style dresses and I've got more that are fancier. But I tend to get on a theme. If I like a colour, I tend to buy more than one. I don't know why. Weird that way. And... anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I think I might do the 4 as I'm going along. Do a bit on one, a bit on another, a bit on another. That way I've only got to reach one colour out at once out of the bag, haven't I? And that way if I run out of a colour, I can improvise, can't I? You know, on all 4 rather than do 3 squares and then find I've run out for the 4th. Because I'm using a different yarn and... although it says 100 grams, you're never sure of the meterage, the yardage from one brand to another, as to whether this will have the same, you know, number of meters, yards on that I was supposed to have with a paint box chunky. I mean, the last time I made a jacket from this range, you know, the Katie Jones, the Frida Kahlo range, I made the jacket, if you remember, with all the stripes and the flowers on the pockets. This is actually very similar to the same flower. I used the paint box, Aaron, and they had it all in stock, but bear in mind that was about 2-3 years ago when I did that one. And I bought the yarn, and I did have enough yarn to sort of, with a couple more extra balls, I did have enough to actually make 2 jackets with a bit of colour substitution, if you know what I mean, a bit of changing around the colours, because some you used more than others, some colours. But I did manage to do 2 jackets with what I bought the first time, plus about 3 more balls. But they did have the paint box then. But when I went to look on it, you know, all the colours that I would have wanted for this poncho were all in the out of stock. And it didn't say out of stock, please advise me when they come in stock. So I had this dubious feeling that they were maybe discontinuing it. Don't know. So I couldn't wait. Couldn't wait for them to come back in stock if ever they did. So I decided to choose others. So I went with Signet, yeah. I do like wherever possible to use the same brand all through the colour range, if you're with me. Because even though they're all acrylics, some do wash differently than others. If it's for myself, I don't care really, but you know, there's a question of whether I would actually like this poncho when I've done it, or whether I would be trying to say, hey, I love it, but it's just not me, and I'm not going to wear it, so. If that's the case and you love it, watch this space, it may be going for sale. I have still got my cakes of yarn, which are at the top end, if you can see them in that big box at the top end of the conservatory. I have got offers on, I think it's 2 or 3 of them, but the rest of them, no dice. I mean, I'm only asking for what I paid for them. Perhaps I should ask for a bit less than what I paid for them, but I am relisting them at a bit less than what I paid for them. Much as it goes against the grain, losing money on what you bought, but hey, that's the way of life, isn't it? Yeah. You know. I was just watching a thing on, a thing on Manchester Evening News about a lady and a gent who started buying things in charity shops and selling them on Depop and places like that for much, much more money. They made a business out of it. Now, if that was me, it would be the reverse. I'd be buying things and then selling them at less than what I paid for them. Because that is the story of my life. I will never be rich. I can never say that I actually make profits on anything I do. Oh dear. I've got things in my wardrobe that I'm thinking, oh gosh, I'm not going to wear them. Maybe I should sell them on Depop, on whatever the other one is, that thing they advertise that you put them on. I'd probably, pay £15 for a dress and sell it for £5, that's the story of my life, yeah. Anyway, this will be a short video because I've not much else to show you, I've not much else to tell you. I did do a bit of knitting when I was on my live last night and I managed to do another 16 rows. I'm quite slow with my knitting. Even though people say I knit fast, it's because of the problems I have with my fingers. I mean, at the moment this hand's dead completely. Can't even feel anything with it. That chunky needles, which you would think would be easier to knit with and quicker to knit with, I don't find that. So I find them a little harder to grip. I'm better off with the smaller, the 4mm, the 450, the 5. I'm better with that, yeah. I haven't really used my Knit Pro needles yet because, as you can see, I'm, going to start crocheting when I get a chance. At the moment, I've just got knitting on the go, just got one. I'm not one of these people who've got, different bags that they open up saying, this is my work in progress, this is my whip. I'm knitting these socks, I'm knitting this shawl, I'm halfway through this. I would just get absolutely, I would just stop. Once they go in a bag, it's like forgotten, yeah. I can have all my bags in the corner, they can be all piled up like a little mountain. Forgotten, yeah. I mean, I did manage to finish that jacket off that's over there. Did manage to finish that off. Only because I made myself finish it, because I'd actually gone right off it because I put it down. If you remember, we were all ill over Christmas. So I got the lightest bit. I wasn't as ill as everybody else, but it was kind of because everybody was ill. They were coughing, spluttering, going around going, it kind of, put me off. So I just put it in a bag and left it. Anyway, I gave myself a stern talking to and I thought, you have got to, finish. So I made myself finish it. Whether I will wear it or not is another matter. Don't know. At the moment it's still on the mannequin and that's probably where it will stay until I decide what I'm going to do. Yeah. I've just been watching a lady that I love to watch on YouTube. She's called Alternative Aging. And she was in Brighton and she was, sadly her battery died. She was going down the streets of Brighton showing the shops. And I'm like, oh, that looks like my kind of place. If you live in Brighton, let me know. They've got what I call proper shops, not high street shops. They've got alternative shops, privately owned shops. It must be a thriving place to be, and I'm looking at these things. She went down the street that was full of market stalls that were out on the pavement. And I'm looking at them thinking, I want to be there, I want to go there. Oh, that's my kind of place, that's my kind of clothes, I love watching it, and she was doing this, how to make yourself feel better, like it's been a dreadful January. How to pep yourself up, make yourself whatever. And I was thinking, yeah. And she was going through her wardrobe and she was putting things together as outfits, going through her older clothes and pairing them up with something different and saying oh, this might go with that, I'll make that into an outfit. And I was thinking of my friend, another friend of mine, B Roberts. She's made a couple of videos where she's like, what am I wearing today, you know. I should do that sometimes, shouldn't I? What am I wearing today? Something boring, you know. Same cardigan as I always wear. Actually, I've got two cardigans that look very much the same because they're in the same yarn. One's got buttons on and it's got, you know, a band. And the other one just is edge to edge, but it looks very similar because I use the same yarn. It's my excuses. I just like anything colourful, you know. I can't help it. It's in my nature. As I said before, I'm not a beige person or a grey person. I look pretty beige today because I've got no makeup on, but never mind. Anyway, as I was saying, this lady in the alternative aging, she's actually going to Lanzarote, I think, or somewhere, for 4 days. And she was showing what she's packing because she's only taking her carry-on. And I'm like, oh, I'd love to rummage in your wardrobe, lady. I'd love to go through your things. Bear in mind, she's got a lot more money than I do. But she does wear a lot of vintage clothing, which, you know, I would love if it fitted me. But bear in mind, most vintage ladies were smaller than I am, so if I did find things in a vintage shop, they would be her size and not mine. Yeah. You know, and as for going in charity shops around here, I'm afraid that, you know, there's nothing much of any. I think to go in charity shops, you need to go into a more affluent area. Where I used to live in Prestwich, I used to get fantastic things in the charity shops in Prestwich. Because the ladies in Prestwich were probably a little bit more affluent. And they tended to discard clothes from their wardrobe frequently, you know. So they would finish up in the charity shops, and I got many, many, many bargains. I mean, when I was working, people used to say, oh my God, you turn up in something different every week, every day, or whatever. And they say, oh, you know, that's such a thing, isn't it? You know, and they'd say the brand, and I go, oh yeah, it's just a little something I've had from my wardrobe for a little while, you know. No, I got it from the charity shop. But I never used to like to say that at the time. Now it wouldn't bother me. Now if I got it from the charity shop, I would tell you. I'm second-hand Rose and I don't care. Keeping things out of landfill is my excuse, yeah. Making my own things, you know, designing my own efforts and stuff like that. That's my way of keeping stuff out of landfill, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I may do a bit more knitting, or I may decide to actually start this poncho. It depends what mood I'm in and whether I can concentrate and if there's anything decent on the TV. I think it's called The Midwife tonight if you're in the UK. Not everybody's cup of tea, but I happen to like it, yeah. But I don't think there's much else on. I'm not into soap operas, don't watch any of that. Hate reality shows. And I don't like quiz shows, so there's not an awful lot on the TV for me these days. Every time I turn it on, it's something I don't want to watch. I'm just not into all that sort of stuff. Other people enjoy them, I'm not knocking them. You enjoy them, you watch them, but I'm just not. As I say, the last time I watched Coronation Street, Ina, Minnie and Martha were in the snook, so that just shows how long ago that is. And if you haven't heard of Ina, Minnie and Martha, you're not my generation, are you? Who's in Coronation Street now? I have no idea because I don't watch it. Don't watch EastEnders, don't watch any of the other whatever. I don't even know what's still on there now. Don't even know what they are. And as for I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. Who are these people? Who? I'm a celebrity. Who are they? Never heard of them. Don't know who they are. You know. Unless from Love Island and things like that. No. No. Not my thing. Just encourages promiscuity, doesn't it? And swapping partners and getting in bed with different... No, maybe I'm old-fashioned. Maybe I'm like Barbara Woodhouse. If you know who she is, you're my generation. You know, I don't mind a bit of sort of nudity within context. If it's in a film, if it's in a play, if it's in a thing. But I don't like it out of context when they just stick a bit of nudity in just to liven things up a bit, you know. or they stick a bit of violence in, you know. You know, I stopped watching things like Coronation Street when it got violent and they have to throw in murders and all sorts of stuff like that. It wouldn't happen in an ordinary street. It just wouldn't happen. Well, it wouldn't in most streets. Maybe you live in a funny area, you know, maybe it goes on in your street, but in most streets it just doesn't happen that way. You might get one murder every 5-10 years or something like that. I mean, I lived in my street for 52 years and there was never a murder in my street. Hey ho. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I've probably bored you enough because you've seen me Saturday. You see me twice on Saturday. You've seen me now on a Sunday. So, you know, too much of a good thing, you know what I'm saying? Could be too much of a good thing. And I am such a good thing. I wish. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I'm going to sort out this wool into the bag again and see whether I feel like starting it. I don't even know what hook I've got to find. So, I will let you know. I am expecting a parcel tomorrow from a very good friend. Sent me a surprise parcel. Thank you very much. I will open it tomorrow if it arrives. And also Wednesday, fingers crossed that the new scooter arrives. So again, there may be a video then. So this week you will probably be absolutely sick of the sight of me. Do apologise in advance. Sorry. Anyway, it's not raining today. Not raining. It's not exactly sunny. I have put my, what do you call it, my mattress protector, because I've washed the bedding outside, hoping it will, because it doesn't like the tumble dryer. It shrivels up in the, it's that kind of material. I don't know what you call it, but it shrivels up in the tumble dryer. So I have to dry it naturally. So I've put that outside, hoping it may dry. And then I've got to make the bed, which I hate. I don't know why. It argues with me. My mattress is a big fat one, and it argues with me. I put the, you know, the fitted sheet, put it on two corners, go to the other end, and it's flirted off the other two corners. And I'm thinking, there must be an easier way than this. You know, to try and get all four corners on without one of them flirting off. I should do a video about that. You know, you could have a laugh, couldn't you, watching me try to make me bed, yeah. Anyway, as I said before, I am going this time, so hope you're having a good Sunday. Bye for now.